Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies, and one of the most common questions we get about rekeying Kwikset locks is what's up with the number 7 Kwikset bottom pin, or the number 7 Kwikset depth. And that's a great question, and I'm going to do my best to answer it right now. Alright, now before we get started, I do want to mention that I did call Kwikset technical support. And I just asked them, I said, hey, why are the number 7 bottom pins not listed in the pinning kits? And I gave them a part number of one of their OEM pinning kits, and they said, I don't know. That's a good question. They asked around a little bit and couldn't really come up with any answer. Really nice people over there, and I appreciate them at least taking the time to have a random guy ask them a random question. So we're really just left with my experience and a couple phone calls I've made. But I'd love, if you have any extra additional information about this, go ahead and put it in the notes below. Now, if you're fairly new into the industry or rekeying Kwikset locks, number 7 bottom pins are almost standard in the locksmithing kits now that Lab and Specialty puts out. They're really easy, we sell a ton of them. But that was not the case back in 2008 and on. During that time, right, we had our big real estate crash and homes were getting repoed like crazy. And all of a sudden, all these companies started getting work orders to go and rekey homes to a Kwikset key that had number 7s in it. And it created all sorts of chaos. At the time, I was on the phone all the time taking orders, and I can tell you, people are calling up and they're like, hey, so I have to go, I have all these repos I need to do, and they give me the key bidding, and there's a couple 7s in it, and they're like, what's the number 7 Kwikset depth? You know, what is it? And then I need some pins for it and all this other stuff, right? And it did create quite a bit of confusion. As a matter of fact, I talked to a couple of the pin manufacturers and I kind of asked them about it. And sure enough, they actually had a pretty decent rush for .310 pins back then, okay? And it's because of these companies that were requiring these homes to get rekeyed. To my understanding and my belief, okay, that is really what popularized the number 7 Kwikset bottom pin. So up until that point, Kwikset depths 1 through 6 was what's common. As a matter of fact, when you get an OEM Kwikset key, you're gonna see those same depths on there, 1 through 6. You're not gonna see that number 7. However, a really fun, interesting fact is I had it confirmed that back in 1993, there was a drawing of the number 7 Kwikset bottom pin. So this is something that I think Kwikset's kind of had in their back pocket for years that I think was used for bigger master keying projects, right? When you're doing master keying projects, well, the more depths you have available, the bigger of system you can use, you know, especially if you want to do like a more of like a 2-step system, not a 1-step system. I don't know who came up with these key biddings that have 7s in them, but all of a sudden it became a big deal. Now, something that's really interesting that took me a little bit of time, I started getting these phone calls and they need this number 7, and a lot of people were using Wiser bottom pin number 8s, okay? So the number 7 Kwikset depth, or the pin length, is a .310, okay? And so a lot of people were using just the universal pin, the .310. However, some were using the Kwikset, or the Wiser bottom pin number 8, which is actually a .312. But luckily the tolerances on the Kwikset locks, you know, allow it to still work. But after all the kind of the word got out and everyone kind of got on the same page, everyone starts using the .310. Shortly thereafter, all of a sudden, you start to see the number 7 start popping up in kits. From my perspective, that is why the number 7 Kwikset bottom pin is on the map today. It was back from that REO crisis in the 2008, 2012, when a couple companies started requesting homes be rekeyed to a Kwikset key with the number 7 bottom pin on it. I tell you what, when I was getting those phone calls, it was crazy. It was quite the deal back in the day. It's now popularized, which is a good thing. And if you are working on master key systems, you want to make sure you're using that number 7 Kwikset bottom pin, because it's going to give you that little extra that's going to make it easier to do a 2-step system. Now, of course, if you have no idea what I'm talking about and you want to learn more, I'm going to put a couple links in the notes below. One on the history of lock pins. It's a really fun video if you haven't watched it already. And I'm also going to put links to the master keying videos that we have out. So check those out. If a lot of this video doesn't make sense to you and you want to know more. Now, if you have anything to add to the story, I would personally love to know. Please put it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. So I'd really love to know. So from my perspective, that's just gonna leave my experience, all right? But I'd love to know. Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies. Have you ever noticed? Common questions we get about Kwikset pins, and I'm here to give you some answers. No, almost. Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies. I'm guessing if you just watched this video that you work with locks and keys. And to us here at CLK Supplies, that makes you a lock boss. And we want to hook you up. Here's how it works. Throughout the week, we post videos on YouTube, like the one you just watched. And all you need to do is comment on the videos and include the hashtag LockBoss. When you do this, you're automatically entered in to win one of 5 free prizes that we give out each and every week. No purchase necessary. So if you're a lock boss, join us each week to learn, grow, and win.